The other side of the world. Miss A looked at the time and date on her watch and calculated in her head that she was about 44 hours from home. She correctly figured that by the time she took a bike, then a jeep or a taxi, followed by bus and train to the nearest airport, waited, flew, transferred, flew again, and arrived at her home airport, then drove to her home, it would take nearly 2 full days of non-stop movement. She was not the type who in such cases would normally become homesick. Consequently, she didn't realize the strange sensation that came over her as she set her bags down and looked at the complex that made up the children's home in front of her. There was a mixture of sadness, excitement, regret, longing, anxiety, and anticipation. On behalf of the U.S. government. I have my best friends with me in one of my bags, she thought to herself. I'll be okay. Miss A had applied to serve on behalf of the U.S. government in a third-world country. To do so, she had to write a proposal and receive a grant. To her surprise and delight, she was accepted. She arrived in an utterly remote location to serve over 600 children, abandoned by their parents, discarded from their homes for a variety of unspeakable reasons. I get to serve others and the U.S. government will pay for it, she thought to herself. Kind of like when my dad joined the U.S. Navy, thinking his famous Uncle Sam could send him to scout out future mission fields where he would serve. Miss A took off her watch and stuffed it into one of her bags, the one with all of her friends in it, her favorite books. I don't think I will need to know what time it is, she said aloud, but to herself. Life here will move by a different rhythm, I suppose. In her mind, Miss A thought her plan was simple. She proposed to teach the children to love to read by reading to them, and expose them to the world of hopes, dreams, and possibilities. My Journal, January 27, 2031. Dear Journal, I heard a deafening crash. The skies that surround this beautiful home of ours that we call Earth seemed to have been split open, much like an egg that had been cracked. Lightning flashed as if the button on a galactic camera had been pressed. Finally, a deafening roar of thunder sounded as if all the freight trains in the subcontinent were rumbling through the gate of heaven at the same time. "Children!" I cried out. "Quick! Run inside!" Cheers of glee echoed off the trees that surrounded our little compound located deep in the jungle, where I have been called to serve as a teacher to a large one-room schoolhouse. Make that very large. There were over 600 students in my classroom. That is not an exaggerated number. There are 627 students to be exact. I think I may now know all their names. I love every one of them dearly. Funny as it may sound to others, the children I serve would rather be inside than outside. They prefer to sit quietly and listen to me read to them, and explain to them what it is I am reading, and learn to read for themselves. The children and I have been to Narnia, to Olympus, to Little Winging. I will take them to the Santa Cruz Mountains of Silicon Valley soon, too. Today, I started a new story for them, the Heliuna Academy. This book is certain to bring back memories, but I am especially looking forward to reading it to them. I am so grateful to be here. Good night.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.